2.7%. That doesn't sound that great when you look at Facebook, 22%, Google, 47%, but those are much more mature companies. Should we give Twitter the benefit of the doubt here?
I think it's very early for Twitter as a business. Look at where Facebook was just a couple of years ago on mobile. Nada.
Zero.
And they just blew up very, very quickly in terms of their mobile numbers. I think Facebook shows where Twitter's going to go. We look at Twitter, and I think they're going to be building out quickly to catch up there.
How much, though, does this user engagement question matter? The fact that people like me and Corey are tweeting up a storm, but most people on there are completely passive.
Well, I'm tweeting just like a little rain cloud. You've got the storm going.
I think if you look back at the beginning of Twitter, it was a similar phenomenon. A few people tweeted a lot, and most of us went on there and read and learned, and then slowly we learned how to do it. I think Twitter is going to go through a couple bumps in terms of its mass market adoption, but I think as a tool, it's very powerful, and it's not going to slow down.
Well, in terms of, I still think the most basic number to look at is the users and then user growth. And what we've seen from the users and the user growth numbers, particularly after the first quarter after the IPO, I would have expected the first quarter, just the attention that the IPO got, for a lot of people to say, hey, I got to check this out. So the Twitter user number would have increased quite a bit, and the user growth rate, therefore, would have increased. Even in the quarter in which they did the IPO, they added a paltry number of users, especially in the U.S., and the user growth rates continued to fall off. It's kind of surprising to me. Is there any suggestion that you've got from your work that that's changed?
It's hard for me to know. I don't have inside knowledge of Twitter's growth rates, but I do know that Twitter, in my experience, is hard. It takes time to learn how to do. It takes time to learn how to understand how to use it. But once you get it, it's very, very powerful. And I think you're going to see that as we get to a mainstream adoption period. The early adopters have already adopted, and now it's my mom and my grandma and everyone who is slower into the game. And it takes them a little bit more work to break through those thresholds. So,
see, my mom's a power Facebook user, but she's not ready for Twitter.
I'm glad she's a power. I get kid updates more from her than from you. But.
What about the ad business? If you could give them a grade right now, given what's happening with Facebook and the mobile ad exchange, what grade would Twitter get? So
I would break out the Twitter ad business into two businesses. They have a brand business and they have a performance business or a platform business. And the brand business, Adam Bain has done an amazing job there. A++++. I mean, they have really gotten brands super, super excited about Twitter, and that's very powerful because those brands have huge budgets. The performance business, they're building out. They're doing a lot of great work. MoPub integration happened. They're moving really, really carefully about getting those things done, but it's still too early to tell.
So what grade would they get there?
It's still too early to tell.
Okay,
I can't throw out a grade.
So about this, I mean, when we look at this value, I mean, one of the things I do is I look at just sort of number of users and revenues and sort of kind of calculate out revenue per user. And the revenue per user numbers also have actually been pretty strong, even as user growth has slowed down. It suggests to me that, while some of the engagement numbers aren't great, the revenue per user number is great, or at least improving, and the value of the user also growing substantially. Are you seeing that in terms of the rates that advertisers are willing to pay to get at these tweeters?
So I've always argued that the revenue per user numbers, both on Facebook and on Twitter, are still a fraction of what they will be. As we get more immersive, powerful ad units, the ability to show video, to communicate, to have emotion, to get people excited about a brand, the value to an advertiser goes up.
You're seeing that?
Oh, absolutely. So early indications on Facebook video ads, off the charts. And what we're thinking and what I'm thinking is that Twitter is going to be in a very similar place. So we're at a very early stage in revenue per user on all of these platforms, as far as I'm concerned.